The Magic Podcast. Hosted by Lloyd Barnes and Craig Petty. Your all-access, behind-the-scenes insight into the current happenings of the magic industry. Where Craig and Lloyd will thrust themselves deep inside your ears every Wednesday to rant, dissect, and give you their raw and unfiltered views on the art of magic. So, lock your door, take out your deck, and brace yourself for the Magic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Magic Podcast with me, Craig Petty.
I hate fucking saying it.
Right, well, let's workshop a new intro.
Let's have a new intro.
Right, let's workshop it right now. What,
Live. People can listen to this. We don't filter.
Yeah, we can workshop this. Yeah. So, what are you thinking, Lloyd? What are you thinking?
I like how you start. Welcome back to the Magic Podcast. Maybe it's just I'm Craig.
Okay.
And I'm Lloyd.
Let's try that. Welcome back to the Magic Podcast. I'm Craig.
That sounds shit. That sounds shit. That was weird. What if I say he's Craig Petty?
And he's Lloyd Barnes. That just sounds like we're fucking the two Ronnies. Not fucking
at the same time.
Ronnies, but, yeah, both of them. Why not?
What if it's like what if we just try and come up with the best insult for each other at the start every week?
Okay. Welcome back to the Magic Podcast with the sheep shouting, motherfucking, horse fucking, goat fucking fucker himself, Mr. Lloyd Barnes.
And Craig's got a head like somebody's drawn glasses on a testicle, Mr. Craig Petty. Oh, see, I feel much more. This is much more me. I'm much more comfortable with that.
You feel happy? Okay, well, that's what we'll do. We'll just insult each other. Why not start the podcast as we aim to go on? It works.
Yeah, let's do that.
Not? Let's go for it. Okay,
that's good.
There's your intro.
Oh shit.
So, welcome back. How was your week? But you know what? We've managed 2 weeks in a row. The entire community is shocked. They didn't think we'd last 1 week without having something to sell. We've still got nothing to sell. We're now back on week 3.
I know. Can you believe it? I'm really proud of us for doing this. I mean, it's always been my stumbling block. That's why we haven't recorded so often.
You know what Sarah said to me? I was like, we're starting the Magic Podcast up. And she was like, oh, that's a good idea, because Sarah knows that I love doing the podcast with you. And it's good for my mental health because I'm just so fucking busy. She's like, oh, good for you. Why did you decide to start it up in the middle of December? Like your busiest month of the year? I'm like,
I can go big or go home.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but fuck it. Why not? Let's just give it a go. Yeah. But no, we're back. We're back bigger than ever before. How has your week been, Lloyd? What you been up to?
Been up to my nuts and guts. No, sorry. What have I been up to? I'm going to lower my chair. I'm trying to think. Man, I've been on a bit of a creative tear the last week. But before we talk about our boring shit, and I'm interested in what you do, sort of whatever. Well, there's so much stuff to cover in the industry this week.
There is, but can I just say one thing? I did love that you put a picture up on Instagram of you cutting a fucking card up, like, or something. You were doing some sort of flap repair work. I don't know. Yeah, cooking. Yeah, I did love that. And every time I see a picture like that, I'm thinking, there's some fucker that's taken that picture. Completely I saw it with Matt Cluley the other day. Matt Cluley put on his socials, taking the first gig of the year, and it's just him holding a mobile phone. I'm like, on a subway. And I'm like, someone took a picture of that fucking...
No, do you know, I'm with you.
Your ear.
I am fucking with you. I hate... I have a genuine reason why. Because I don't post photos like that. Because I always think it must be so awkward to pose for a photograph on your social media. But I was... You know the trick that I just showed you before this started?
Yeah.
It was that trick. And I was filming it. And because I've got a new software on my phone that I can take... It's not new, but it's Canon Live Remote View. So I was experimenting with press and play and change and stop. And then I took a photo. I was like, oh, actually, let me fucking take a cool photo. So I did kind of pose, but I didn't set the shot up to be cool. I was like, oh, I was just fucking around with tech. And I was like, okay,
I'll let you off then, because that was just like the poses.
But I do find it awkward.
I just had an image of somebody just standing over you, taking a picture while you're there with some fucking scalpel or whatever. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Okay.
So much been happening this week. I'm sure you've been busy. You've probably just been doing fucking gigs. But let's just dive straight into this. Nobody cares about what we're up to, man. You're releasing 10,000.
Let's talk about the industry. What you got? Fill me in.
Man, the Tim Conover books, they're finally released. Is fucking incredible.
Have you got one of them?
I haven't. I'm holding off until the session. I'm hoping, and maybe they're gone, but I'm gonna try and get a deluxe one.
The deluxe one sold out in an hour.
I know. I seen some people complaining that they weren't able to access it. I have got no dog in this fight, but I was out on a run, came home. I was like, oh fuck, they're up. So I got home like 15 minutes after release. I logged in, and then Katie was like, oh, can you please do this with the kids? I'm like, oh, I really want to buy the books. My long story cut short is I missed out because I was helping cook after my run, but I had no issue getting on there. There was like a full hour or half an hour at least I could have, if I was really like desperate. Well, I kind of was, so it's my own fault. But people kicking off about not being able to get them, I don't understand that. There was an opportunity there.
I don't get that either. But I mean, I'm planning on putting my order in as soon as I've got off the phone to you. Like as soon as
the deluxe ones are sold out.
Yeah, I'm just going to get a standard one. I don't want to wait. I really don't want to wait. And yeah, I think they might have some more at the session, but I don't know. I think maybe they won't. Maybe they won't.
Maybe they won't. Do you know what Jason England posted saying that you're not missing out on much if you don't get the deluxe one? I am interested in Memories deck work, but I'm very set in my ways a little bit with my own like creative style. It was more of like the keepsake for it. But here's an interesting question. People have been arguing back and forth whether deluxe editions are good or not for releases. Some people see it as a paywall to the better material. Some people see it as an honor to the artist to give them a special, for super fans. What are your thoughts?
So, it's a good question. I think it depends on the viewpoint. I think it's an incredible idea for the person who's producing the book because they always sell out. So if you're wanting to make extra money on the book that you've released, then, it seems like a no-brainer. If the book's big enough, people are going to buy a deluxe edition. From a consumer's point of view, it depends on what it comes with. Like I remember when Andy Gladwin's book came out, and I love Andy's book. It's one of my favorite books, The Boy That Cried Magic. Mm-hmm. I did not get the deluxe version because the deluxe version just had a dust jacket and a deck of cards that was designed by Andy. And I'm like, I don't really care about that. I just want the tricks. But when Joshua J bought out through Vanishing Ink last year, he bought out his book on the Mem deck. If you remember, he bought
Particle System.
Yeah, Particle System. I bought that at the session last year, and the deluxe version came with an entire extra book. You got an extra book in the dust jacket with extra routines. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting the deluxe edition because I want the extra routines. If there's extra stuff I can do with this, I want to know what they are. So for me, it very much depends on what you get with the deluxe edition to make it, whether it's, I couldn't care less about what it looks like on my shelf. I couldn't care less about that. What I care less about is reading it and the content. And if it's literally just a dust jacket and a pack of cards, I'm not that bothered.
Fair, yeah. Because I'm normally, I think I'm pretty balanced, and I can always see like both sides of the coin and stuff. I don't really get the argument against deluxe editions. Like, for example, like you said, like if the deluxe edition was something you wasn't interested in and it didn't really have much more, I don't see any gripes with having it available.
No.
Do you know what I mean? When I lectured at Blackpool, I didn't want to, because everything I taught in the lecture could be done DIY or performed. So there was nothing, some people do a dealer dem in their lectures. They just go on and they just show you 10 tricks, but all of them need props that you have to buy from them at the end. I wanted to do the opposite of that. So I wanted everything to be actionable. And I was like, oh, you know what? Like I teach people on YouTube and I have enough products out there. I don't want people putting their hands in my pockets. And Peter Turner said, Lloyd, what you don't understand is that, and I think he was just meaning in general, because no one's coming to see me, but he was like, when people are coming to your lecture to see you, and a lot of magicians, if you are their favorite magician, they just want something as like a bit of memorabilia or something you can sign to take away with them, to have something tangible. And I think it's the same for so I did. I made stuff that they could have, like, they could buy so they've got something to take away, even though I insisted you don't have to buy a damn thing because it's all being taught to you. And with deluxe edition books, I feel like it's the same thing. Like sometimes you're buying it to like sort of honor the person or have, like, I bought the Darren Brown deluxe edition and I think it was just hardback with the case, a little box that it came in or something. It didn't add anything to maybe I had like an extra chapter. I don't even know, but it was just like, I'm such a super fan of Darren. I just wanted the extra keepsake. And I know it's really sad if people, because I mean, the reason I'm a creator is because I come from such poverty. I say that, and then there's kids who are actually starving to death, so that makes me sound like a prick. But I come from like such objective poverty that I made my own stuff up. So I get that I felt like priced out or paywalled out because of my financial situation or my social standing in the past. But I'm not against deluxe edition. I don't know. I think it's phenomenal. And we haven't even started talking about what the book's about.
No, I mean, the books are, I mean, I haven't got them, so I'm not 100% sure exactly what the entire content is. But yeah, I mean, do you know more than me?
I try not to, in some cases, read too much about books in general. Like I like when I get, like, I don't watch movie trailers. I try as much as I can to not spoil things for myself or give myself hints. But I have read up a little bit about this one, and I've watched Eric Mead. I watched the live launch. Have you ever seen Eric Mead on Fool Us doing the cylinder and coin?
Yes, it's incredible.
Holy potato chips, man!
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Perfection. It's perfection.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Every single movement, nuance, subtlety, the structure of the routine, every single detail from start to finish was masterful. And I'm not familiar with Tim Conover's work. I think he was a bit before my time, but if you look at a routine like that and you think and you realize how intricately well thought out it was and how it was like a symphony, like everything in its right place where it should be. If he applies that thinking to the rest of his magic, which everyone seems to echo, all of his like peers and people that knew him and followed his work, then you can only glean inspiration from it. It can only be.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It's not like it. It didn't look like it was a one-hit wonder trick. Like if you the mastery that went into that routine from every element, that just has to permeate through the rest of his work.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's interesting how, there's so many books that come out throughout the year. There's so many different books and projects. Like we've just had the Marlowe books come out from Vanishing Inc. a few months ago, the 6th volume, which I'm still working my way through. Penguin have just brought out their own Marlowe content that they had the rights to. But it feels like the Conover books are the most like highly anticipated books of the last few years. And you got to ask yourself a question, why? Like, I know obviously reputation and so on and so forth, but there's other people that bring books out that have an incredible reputation. The Marlowe files, all of the hidden gems from Marlowe, stuff like that. Why is it that the Conover books has everybody just clamoring at the bit to the point that the deluxe edition sells out in seconds? Like, what do you reckon it is?
Scarcity, like the scarcity of his material that's out there available, I think, possibly. Like with Marlowe, I'm not even, like, this is not a diss to Marlowe, but I have no idea how many new unseen hidden gem works will come out from because Marlowe, there's so much material from Marlowe.
Yeah.
You can drown in it. You could spend your whole career as a magician reading just Marlowe only and still find new stuff, probably, right? It's such an ocean of it. But it's kind of like, some creators like a Jay Sankey, genius creator, right? Literally once in a generation talent. He's the type of creator that can create 1,000 tricks in a month. And then you have other creators like a Wayne Houchin, and he makes one trick every 10 years now. And
Yeah.
both of them are experts and geniuses in their own right and masters at work. But if like you couldn't probably without, this is not a diss to Sankey, it's just that it's actually more of a it's a remark of how incredible he is, his output, but prolific is the word, sorry. I couldn't tell you the last 3 Sankey releases in a row, right?
No.
But Wayne Houchin, you can pretty much name every single thing he's put out. And I think it's that kind of effect where Tim Conifer seems to be somebody who hyper focused on little but perfection. You know, not such an insane output, but everything he put out was a gem.
Yep. I'd agree with that.
So when Eric Mead's been writing, I think it's 14 years. He's been writing it for 14 years. And like the dedication he's put into that. Plus the fact that like you're in safe hands with Eric Mead. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a bit of a Eric Mead mega fan. He's at the session this year. There's no way I can speak to him. Absolutely no fucking way.
Yeah, you're on his level, man. You're an
artist. Don't even
like
try to pretend. Like this is like
you're lecturing just like he is.
Honestly, it's like I can't even. Like Eric Mead is a grandmaster chess player, and I'm not even playing tiddlywinks. I'm the pigeon that flies over the chessboard and takes a shit on it because I'm too stupid to even realize I can't. There are different worlds in Magic, Craig, and I love you inherently, and you're a prolific creator and performer. But Eric Mead is a god. He's a fucking god amongst men.
He is. Yeah, he is.
It's unfathomable. And so when someone like him spends 14 years on something, you have to give it your full undivided attention. Unless you have to cook dinner for the kids and miss the fucking deluxe edition.
Funny. Ring Andy. I'm sure he's got one tucked away.
No, I'm not. No. And that's not me trying to edge a free copy. I want to pay for my copy. I'm not saying
you ask him to send you on. I'm just saying, hey, have you got a spare deluxe edition tucked away somewhere in Gladwin Towers that I can pay for, please? I'm sure he has. You turn left by the big, massive fucking safe that he swims in like Scrooge McDuck. Just go past the computer room where he's fending off all the hackers like some sort of fucking superhero, and sitting there will be a deluxe edition Conover book. Just ask him to like sell it you.
Now I'm gonna bank on getting one at the session, and if not, I'm gonna get a standard edition.
Cool. Yeah. When you talk about the deluxe edition, by the way, one thing that you asked, why do people buy a deluxe edition versus, I think that a lot of hobbyists who buy a lot of the stuff that we bring out, don't forget, I think that they have, there's a lot of I've found from speaking to people at conventions and Magic Live and so on and so forth, a lot of people that are very well off, that have quite a lot of money for whatever reason, they gravitate towards Magic and they have an unlimited budget. I think that, that a lot of the really high-priced items go to collectors and hobbyists. I've got a friend of mine, David Murphy, who is very well off, runs a financial advisory company over in Pasadena, has a lot of money, and he'll buy anything he wants, and he doesn't think twice about it because he just loves Magic. And I think there's a lot of people like that. I think that if you want further proof, look at I've never really understood, from my point of view, the retreat. Vanishing Ink, Andy and Josh are geniuses for coming up with the retreat, because it sells out within minutes. But I was looking at the
Can I get a fucking free holiday?
Yeah, well, I was looking at I was looking at the latest one, which is taking place, I think, in May. I think it's May, Greece 2026, which is sold out. And it's sold out right at the very beginning. And it's like a 3-day retreat or 4-day retreat. And if you get the retreat, it's basically $7,500. If you want to take a partner, it's $11,000. If you want to add on Santori, it's like coming up on $12,000. And if you want a partner, it's almost $20,000 to do this session. Now, to do this retreat thing. Now, if I tried to turn around to Sarah and said, hey, Let's go away and hang out with some magicians for a few days in Greece, and we'll go and hang out, and we'll watch some magic and stuff, and we'll treat it as a little holiday. We'll get the kids, and how much? $20,000 for you and me to go. She'd go, are you fucking having a laugh? Are you nuts? Are you ridiculous? Are you kidding? This is for 5 days, from the 25th to the 30th of May. And 5 days, $20,000. And the artists, you've got two artists that they're guaranteeing to be there, which is Richard Wiseman. I mean, that's fair enough. But I've seen Richard at conventions before. And Andres
Nishka.
yes, Panishka. I always pronounce his name wrong. Who is also incredible.
He's a blast to be around.
Yeah, but 20 grand for me and my wife. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, but I can't diss Andy and Josh. They're geniuses. They've seen that there are people that are happy to pay whatever, and the chance to be in a very small group to hang out with some of the biggest names in magic, and go out for a few days. There's people that
I think there's a few factors to it, isn't it? Like, you almost don't want to make it. It would be like taking a school trip if there was 30, 40 people. It'd be unfun. It wouldn't be fun if there were that many people. You kind of want to keep it exclusive. And I would imagine that it probably started off like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to get like a couple of people together and take some magicians, really, really like a few of us, really exclusive, not in an exclusive sense, but like just quite like a small group of us, and just have a fun magic holiday. And I guess then, it's like, if people have got disposable incomes, then great. I don't know. I don't see it as. It sounds like fun if you've got the disposable cash to it. But I will talk about something, which is I've always thought magic was a hobby for people who were well off, because I came into magic from nothing, and I had to make my own stuff. It's probably why I'm a full-time creator, as opposed to a performer, because like I had to make my own shit. And I think because the entry level, right? The entry level to playing football is a football. The entry level to going running is an absolute basic necessity. Shoes, right? Running trays. But magic, like I didn't have. I had a deck of blue bicycles. There was only 40 cards in the deck when I was from the age, I think, of 11 to 13, and I had those for 2 years. That was I couldn't get anything. Books are expensive, like VH. I mean, especially like I'm talking like 30 odd years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, getting that stuff in. The entry level to like sort of just be in the same, have the same stuff as everyone else it's like, you look at like Formula One racing, those people who, the F1 drivers, most of their parents are millionaires, right? Because that's kind of what it takes. And certain hobbies have certain entry points financially. I don't know, you can get into magic for free. I did. But I think the general, like overall, like magic community, like you have to start off with a bit of a bank balance.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, I think you do. A lot of people do.
Compared to other hobbies. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but like if you're into art and sketching, pen and pencil, it's all you need. Yeah. If you're into comedy, tell jokes. If you know what I mean, like. But magic, there's a lot of expensive props, depending on what type of magic. But most of it, you have to pay to learn. Unless, a big reason why YouTube existed is to give back to the kids who are like me.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I will always advocate teaching on YouTube, because magic has always been so elitist, and it's like, oh, you can't get into magic. The Magic Circle are a perfect example. I'm going to get kicked out of the Magic Circle for the third time by saying this, but what the fuck ever. They act like, oh, exposure is terrible. We can't have any exposure. We can never have any exposure on YouTube. But if I go and spend £5,000 at Penguin Magic and then just learn some tricks, you're going to let me in. It's not about whether it's not about what I know or what I don't know. It's whether I'm prepared to pay something in order to
it's about,
buy these props, which I think is complete bullshit elitism.
I fear they've loosened their extremity on it. I think it seems like the new guard understands that, like, there's two different things. There's exposure, which is teaching other people's tricks.
Yep.
And then there's tuition.
Yeah.
So YouTube is the new library.
Yeah.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, and you can't fight it. All you can do is try and make sure that guide it. So people are, like, that's why I only teach my own material, and I try and teach it correctly. And a lot of my videos are boring by nature because it stops lay people stumbling on them and trying to get through them. But then you have people on there who are just making YouTube shorts or taking card tricks from other magicians without permission and just flat out teaching it. And even if they're teaching it well, it's not good because it's not theirs to teach. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why, I've had people moan at me that I expose magic on YouTube. I've had, I do those exposure videos on my own tricks, and I'm like, right, let me explain how this trick works. I've had people turn around to me and go, well, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? So that's, people are going to learn, the lay people are going to learn how these tricks are done. No, they're not. That's not how the YouTube algorithm works. You're only going to be shown how tricks are done if you're watching videos about magic all the time. And if you are, you're interested in magic, in which case it's not an issue. And also, if you're a layperson that's never done magic at all and you've stumbled onto one of my videos exposing my trick and you're prepared to sit there for 60 minutes with me droning on, then you fucking deserve to learn how that trick works. Because getting into magic, it shouldn't be about paying money, but you have to show that if you're prepared to invest time into watching a video, then that's fair enough, because that's how it starts as a hobby. That's how it becomes passion.
But yeah, if people are finding this stuff and it's popping up in their algorithm, it's because they're interested in it.
Yep.
The only form of content, not the only, but the main, the issue is it's understanding the argument. And a lot of people don't understand the argument because they put everything under one umbrella. The videos which are abhorrent are when people have a less than 60-second short and they are just making fun of, they take someone else's work, they expose it, they also take the piss out of it as they're doing. They're like, oh, it's a stupid thing. They do this, oh, that's it, what the fuck? And that's created purely to get millions of views and sort of, it's almost like it kind of feels like, like a government psyop misinformation campaign. It's like designed to hurt and harm magic purely for one person's personal gain.
Justin Flom, we're looking at you.
Yeah, exposing it's so many of them, isn't it? It's abhorrent. And if he was come up with his own unique stuff and he was taking time to teach people properly and give the art the respect it deserves, people don't stumble upon that. And then you're always going to get people who stumble upon any form of magic and still think it's not good. But that happens with every art form, and that happens in real life. Everyone has had experience with a heckler pointing out how a trick is done at some point and then just dismissing everything they do as crap. It lives in the same field or same zone. But what's the phrase? Teach them well. All you can try and do is teach them well. And the more well-taught content there is on YouTube that teaches people about crediting history, and they do it with permission, and they do it in such a way that it's not designed for the 5-second MTV generation attention spans, the better. And the thing that I find, all my YouTube videos are like all little visual gimmicky cards, which you're never going to perform in the real world. Like very few of them you're going to perform. And then it's the gateway drug. Because from there, when they end up going to somewhere like my Patreon or to like a Vanishing Inc. or somewhere to actually get into the what I define as real magic, the gold, that's the stuff that when they see it or experience it in real life, they're still fooled by it. And it's not that, like, I'm trying to make two different arguments at the same time. But yeah, like the gimmicky visual stuff is kind of like, it's your starters. It's just It's not going to satiate you long term, but they're just fun little like sort of gateway drugs to get them to learn the good stuff.
I know exactly what you mean, and I completely agree with you.
For example, you don't go in and you don't teach someone how to do Winged Silver by Ponta the Smith for their first trick. When you're on the playground, you get taught the French drop. Yeah, you do. It's your gateway drug. Everyone has a gateway drug in magic, right? Everyone has their gateway tricks.
Yeah, and stuff that really kind of.
When you meet a magician when you don't know magic and they want to, and you've begged them to teach you how to become a magician, they don't teach you the good stuff first. They show you the little stupid things, the little things that make you go, that's cool. That's oh, what a neat trick. Not the stuff that makes you like have profound impacts on you.
But I bet you a load of people have got into magic through your channel.
I don't want to say yes or no.
What are you doing this week?
I reckon they have. I want to. I'm punching up something. I want. I'm as I'm speaking to you. I'm punching up something because what I found the other day. Did you see the? Did you see the comment that somebody put on the podcast from last week?
Which one?
Talking about.
I mean, I know for a fact that a good like couple of hundred magicians have got into magic through me, which is not a lot when you look at the actual good magicians out there that have inspired people. But I know a good couple of hundred have, because I've got emails and fan mail and people that come up to us in conventions.
Well, here's a comment that somebody left on the podcast that we did last week. This is going to be a long comment, the guy says. I don't live in the UK. I'm a casual magic fan. My knowledge of magic used to be basically Penn and Teller, Chris Angel, Darren Brown, Dynamo, etc., etc. And those guys were on AGT like 10 years ago, like Eric Jones and Shin Lim. Anyway, I paused the podcast to Google who Tyler Lunsford is because I wanted to learn more about magic and magic YouTube channels. And it turns out that YouTube, after some Chris Ramsey video, actually recommended me Tyler's video, 60 Amazing Magic Tricks from Blackpool, 3 years ago. And I was like, Blackpool Magic Convention, where's that? And in that video, I saw Craig Petty for the first time. It was a moment with the testicle t-shirt. Right after that, YouTube started showing me random magic TV videos, and I was like, hey, that's the guy with the testicle t-shirt. So I started watching it, and that's how I learned about the massive UK magic scene and all the different conventions. So now, 3 years later, I'm going to my first magic podcast meetup and my first Blackpool, and also going to see Darren Brown, all thanks to the YouTube algorithm, Lloyd Barnes, Craig Petty, and Tyler's Blackpool video. And that's the point. That, for everyone that says, oh, YouTube's bad, there's people getting into YouTube all of the time that are getting into it. Sorry, not YouTube, magic, that are getting into it through, long form and short form videos on YouTube. And, that can't be a bad thing, right? The more people getting into magic, the better.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I first posted my first YouTube video a couple of years ago, there was a mission statement, which was I'd been forced to turn all my ideas into products to squeeze money out of them for a long period of time by a company. So I wanted to do the opposite of that, which was to give back. And I wanted to teach people correctly, because there was so much badly taught magic out there, and teach them more about the correct history, credits, and things, and how to do how I feel the right way, do things the right way. And then the thing was, which was because I could never afford to get into magic, like with all the props and stuff. I wanted to make this big thing of like, here's how you can really be. You can as long as you can watch this video, and you have like scissors and some double stick tape and things you can get in a school classroom, you can do mostly all of this magic, and yeah. So I think because of that, I'm not in an arrogant sense, but I do know that a lot of people have gotten into magic or stuck around. They've peeked behind the curtains and they've seen kind of what it's about and haven't been turned away because they don't have enough money for a ticket to stay.
Yeah. And, swinging this back to where we all started from at the beginning of this video, which was Vanishing Inc. Fair play to them. They do scholarships every single year.
Yeah.
Every single year they say, hey, if you're a kid, if you're under 18, you can come for free and you can get a parent to come for free. Just show us that you've performed at a charity event. That's great.
Incredible. Literally
Nobody
incredible.
else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that. Fair play. I know I take the piss out of Andy and Josh and their incredibly large sum of money. And, I joke around from time to time. But that shows that they actually care about magic. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be doing that. They don't need to do that. They don't need to do that.
They do loads of stuff for magic. They do more than I think they do more than any other magic company.
Well, and Andy is like secret agent by night, isn't he? Exposing the pirates of the world. Like
Oh, today is the Garcia deck release day, I think.
I can't wait for that. What is it? It's going to be fancy, innit? It's got to be fancy. It can't just be
it's gonna
another
be
Mark deck.
slick.
It can't just be another Mark deck.
But you said it was a Mark deck.
I said
It'll have something. It'll have an extra element to it, you know. Like there's always
it can't just be a Mark deck. It can't be. Is Danny Garcia
who's the
back
fuck if it
then?
is?
Because, no,
it's
but
Garcia.
yeah.
And I'll buy the fucking deluxe edition when that sells out too.
Because is he back now? Because he like disappeared from the community for over a decade, but he's just brought out that thing through Murphy's, hasn't he? The one, which was really nice.
One card, yeah, that was
one
sick.
card, which was cool. And now this, like, is he officially back? Is he going to be doing more again? Because you know, a lot of the greats of Magic disappeared for a while, didn't they? Houchin went away. Eric Jones kind of disappeared off the circuit. He focused on performing. You know, Danny Garcia, he left. And I still say, for people that are new into Magic, and I say new, anyone who's been into Magic in the last 5, 6, 7 years, go and get the Daniel Garcia projects. Oh my God. They were the videos for me back in the day when everyone was buying DVDs. They were. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the best DVDs ever made? The Daniel Garcia projects.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Hands down.
I mean, there's a certain style because there's the True Astonishment project, which was fucking life changing.
It was
that
yeah,
off, but incredible. The Garcia had a way of making everything, I say modern, not like futuristic, but like, I don't know, it was like the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of those creations from like Paul Harris were very kind of sometimes awkward or a bit finicky and stuff.
I'm going to say something right. Yeah.
Well.
I'm going to say something now, which people are probably going to come down on me about, but I don't care. We remember all the really cool Paul Harris tricks because he brought out so much stuff. We remember the bizarre shrinks, the bizarre twists, the vacuum cleaner cards, the, you know, like Las Vegas Leaper, the solid deception. We remember all the cool stuff because he's brought out so much cool material, but we forget that some of the stuff that Paul Harris brought out was fucking mental.
Oh, no, don't say that.
You know, some of it was just,
every time you say that,
looking some of that stuff and just
an angel dies.
I remember something like there was this one where you had 3 cards and you had to hold them together in a particular way, and it allowed you to make it look like a card was penetrating another one, and and I remember trying to learn that, and I'm like, this is just there's got to be easier ways to do this, and I think he had a lot of experimental stuff. Look, not everything that every creator brings out is perfect.
I don't know. There are some people that it's fucking with me, man. Like, I don't know.
Name a creator that's brought out nothing but perfect effects. I don't think you can.
Wayne Houchin.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Because he's hardly brought anything out, has he? He's not like
like, you know, it's like Adele's albums.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you, right? Look. I think Paul Harris gets a hard pass on the amount of output he has, right? Versus what you may think is like lower caliber. It just might be lower caliber to you. Because I guarantee, like, for example, there was a thing, the Invisible Man effect, which I think Justin Willman does it in his show, but I think it was Daniel. I had dinner with him and Darren Brown, in the guy who created the Invisible Man project from Paul Harris's book. What's his name? Daniel something?
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't remember his name.
Either way, right? There was a footnote in one of the True Astonishment books. I want to say book 3, but that I'm probably wrong. And it just said like a funny idea would be that 2 people get put under a blanket. They're both told they're invisible. One person quickly sneaks away and is in on it. The other person, when they're both revealed, the audience pretend both are invisible. So when person B who's not in on it looks around, they also, you know, it was like a footnote written, that was probably more words than what it was, and left as dust to most people. And then this guy, I think his name was, what was his fucking name? Found it, turned it into a full working routine, and like does it to stadiums now. You know, and I think with Paul Harris, I don't know, I kind of feel like almost if he put it in print, if he wrote it down, if it came out of his brain and he did something with intention with it, then it's good. It's got to have good in it. I'm just trying to defend my hero. Okay. Look, just leave him alone.
No, yeah, Paul Harris is amazing. Paul
No,
Harris
you
is
are you
amazing.
are right. There are some things that I don't personally like.
You
Um,
mentioned Jay Sankey earlier on. He's had some hits and misses over the years. More hits than misses. I mean, his work with coin magic is exceptional. He's got so many. Inner Flash is still one of the greatest tricks of all time. I'm not going to diss Jay at all, in any way, shape, or form. But my
okay, cool.
question, no, I'm
Oh
not. I'm not.
fuck.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna diss him. I'm not gonna diss him. What I'm going to ask is this: you mentioned earlier on about Jay Sankey in terms of he creates a lot of material, which he does. For those people that don't know, and I'm interested in what you think about this because you're into the marketing of magic, obviously. Jay used to bring everything out through every magic shop. Like every single magic shop had all of Jay's material for the longest time. And then at some point in the past, he made the decision to have everything go through sankymagic.com. So you can't get it through Murphy's anymore. And you said earlier on, I
You
couldn't
know.
tell you what the last yeah, no, Sankey stuff doesn't go through Murphy's Magic. It doesn't go through Penguin Magic. It doesn't go through. At one point, he was wholesaling just to magic shops, but he doesn't do that anymore. You can only get it through sankymagic.com. And that's obviously a business decision that he's made, which is fine. But you also said earlier on that you couldn't tell you the last three Sankey releases. And you know what? Do you think bringing because he's brought a load of stuff out recently and I don't know any of it because I don't regularly check sankymagic.com and I see his emails, but sometimes I don't read them because sometimes he's re-promoting his old stuff and they come through so frequently. Do you think his reputation with newer people that have come into the industry has gone a bit downhill because of his decision to not have his tricks go to every magic shop in the world? I think this is an interesting topic to talk about for new magicians. Like, how important is it? Like, can you get to a point like Jay where you just have stuff go out through your own website? Will your reputation carry that? Because I know that there's people. He's just been announced for the Blackpool Magic Convention next year, and I went on Magic News and I went, "Oh, it's Jay Sankey," and this person had been in Magic for a couple of years, commented, "Went, who's Jay Sankey?" And it's like, if he's not been to the UK for a couple of years and you haven't stumbled on
Jay Sankey looks
Sankey
like you if
Magic,
you were healthy.
fuck off. I'm working out in the moment. I'm fucking top of my
Working out a
game,
way to
mate.
get a fucking kebab before midday.
I'm top of my game. I'm working out. I'm in the gym, hitting the gym
If
in the
that game is Monopoly and that Monopoly is in McDonald's for the yearly game.
But you're not wrong. He's twice as old as me and looks like so much better.
I'll
But
tell you what go on, carry on. No, carry on.
yeah, that's the question. It's like some people don't know Jay Sankey. How important is that? Probably not important because he's obviously still getting bookings for lectures, and you're amazing. You're such a god. Fucking.
I think it comes down to not comes down to anything. It definitely from what it seems like he's less widely recognized. However, he knows his brand, he knows his fan base, his core audience. I don't think he needs anyway. I kind of again drawing similarities to the music industry. If you look at like any band, any artist that you used to like 15 years ago, that were potentially like well-known household name, you think, oh, I haven't seen so-and-so for ages. They're probably not doing anything now. And then you find out they haven't stopped. They've been making albums, they've been touring. They're just not as widely recognized. And I think it comes from a combination of knowing their fan base and choosing to tone it down a bit, and then being comfortable where they are and wanting to be where they are. And the other half of it is that you do get to a certain saturation point where you're like, when you first come up, I know Sankey been around for a long time, but like there was a golden era in Magic where everything was new because it was the first time it was being seen on video and the internet on a like mass population, gen pop sort of standard thing. That's why like digital downloads don't sell as well anymore, because you could sell somebody doing the pass as a digital download and they would do really well. Nowadays, you can go and learn them. Everyone's seen the pass. A lot of these people have never tipped their methods before, right? So I think when like when Sankey sort of exploded digitally, and he stayed in it for a long time, there comes a point where even he's not new and exciting anymore to the type of people, and it's so I think it's a combination of he had his glory high point globally in terms of magic population, and then has found what works best for him as an operation as well, and just a mixture of that. Like, there's no doubt in my mind if Sankey was like, right, 2026, I'm going to be that fucking guy again. I'm going to be the magician that's on the face of, I'm going to be Craig Petty of 2026. Done.
You do it. Yeah.
Done. Get a bit more selective with choice of material, work with every company, put it on every company. And this time, 2027, me and you could name every one of his previous 5 releases in order and tell you the dates they were released and probably have copies of them on our shelves. So I think it's by choice and just finding where he's comfortable at. Like, it sounds bizarre, but not everyone wants to sell, or kind of sounds ridiculous saying this, but like not every musician wants to do a stadium tour, wants to sell 1 million records, because it comes with having to deal with that much more. Like, I've built up my YouTube to where I want it to be. My goal was 100,000. If it was 200,000, like, my life would it'd be very difficult to fit that into my life, because it's already hard to manage the day-to-day like emails, messages, communications, and I don't even post that regularly at the minute. And I can only imagine, to be a prolific creator like Sankey when magic was at its absolute peak, I think, for like everyone buying everything all the time, it must have been unimaginable. I don't know. It must have been, you must look at you. You are working yourself to an early grave.
I work hard. I do work hard. Yeah. And you know
sleep.
that I've got things in place to make sure that I just said to Sarah, because I'm going through December at the moment, and December for me, it's fuck me, man. I'm so tired. Like, I'm so tired. Like, December for me has been nuts. I got back from Thursday. I got back at 4 o'clock in the morning. I then spent the entire day in the office, and then went out and did a gig and got back at 2 in the morning. And then on Saturday, I was doing work in the office until about midday. Then I was out. I got back at 3 in the morning. Then I was filming videos all day Sunday for Magic TV. Went out and did a gig. Got back at 10, and then stayed up filming videos till 3. It's now Monday. I've been in the office since 8 o'clock. I'm now filming this with you. And when I get home, I'm going to be doing a gig, and it's like that. And I said to Sarah, I said, I'm not doing another December like this again. I'm just fucking not. I'm not doing another. There's things in place. I'm happy to do
that
it.
Trip to Dignitas.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not doing it anymore. I'm killing myself. I spoke to Mark Paul, and he told me Mark Paul barely fucking works over December. He just does a couple of cruises, and I'm like, yeah, okay, he's got it right.
My problem is, there's literally no reason for you to work over December. Financially, it's not worth it to you at all.
The thing is, I'm doing more gigs than most magicians, but I'm also running the office, and on top of running the office, producing all the content for Magic TV, and
your product releases, and posting
in
on
my
Magic
free
Cafe,
time,
and running your metrics,
and then all of that shit.
But I don't, honestly, like I've said this to you before. Why do one thing?
Dude, I love performing. I love it. If you
leave it to the pros.
Well, that's the other thing, right? That's the other thing. You can fuck off. That's the other thing, right? I remember when I was in university, we did this thing where I had to work out what personality type I am. And I'm a completer finisher, they called me, which is actually really true. I am, which means I have to do everything myself. I find it very hard to remove myself from a situation because internally I'm like, if I do this myself, it will be done right. It's very difficult for me to take myself away from that. It really is, which is why I have to be in the office. I have to be on top of that. I have to be performing. If there's certain clients, I have to be the one doing those clients because I know I'm going to do the best job. And it's just a hang up. But I do love performing. I do love it, and I'm
You half.
I love it. And yeah, I don't want to ever stop performing. I said to Sarah, the day that I stop loving performing is the day that this business shuts down because frankly, I built this business off my passion for performing. And that's where, but I'm like I told you, I'm going away for a few days over Christmas. I'm taking the kids away and the wife and the dog. I'm going away for a week. But yeah, it can be tough sometimes. But
Something tells me that week is going to be filled with phone calls to me and making
I'm going to be bored within a day. That's my problem. I just can't not do anything. But I'm going to take a
I
look.
fucking hate holidays, man. I
Me
hate
too.
holidays with a fucking passion.
I'm going to
And,
take
and the worst thing is Kaylee loves them. And I do go and if I'm absolutely dragged into it, but as soon as I get away, my problem is, right? My favorite thing to do in the world is play with new magic ideas, come up with stuff, right? My favorite thing in the whole fucking world, next to just generally loving my kids, right? And my wife. But my favorite thing to do with my spare time is to make videos and play with magic tricks, right? So, and the best place I can do that is in my studio because all my stuff is here. So it's my favorite thing to do. So when the idea of a holiday is that you take time to relax, to not do work, and spend time doing the things you enjoy, right? So Katie's like, let's go on a summer holiday. Let's go abroad somewhere by a pool. So they think, oh, fucking hell, right? It's going to be a nightmare on the plane with the kids and all this shit. You get there, I sit down and I go, right, me time. What do I want to do? I want to come back home. I want to come back home and play on my fucking cards.
Yeah.
And then I'm like you, I'm a complete finisher. And also, I don't know what the thing is. Katie wants me to get tested for stuff, but I don't think I need to. I don't think I need to be categorized. I hyper focus. So if I get caught in an idea or I have something, I have to do it. I have to think about it. And if I get distracted from it in any way, it's like I get like it feels like an attack on my nervous system. I just turn too much. I can't do anything. I can't help. I'm useless. So I'm there. I'm fucking bound by distance.
Yeah.
I'm just literally like sitting there stimming, not enjoying it. Worst thing on earth for me. I hate it. Hate it.
Oh shit.
Why I built a fucking heated swimming pool in my back garden. Well, you like, all right, babe, you like sunbathing and hot swimming pools? Great. There's one in the fucking garden. Leave me be. Leave me alone. Okay? Sound.
Yeah, and
I'm not even kidding.
I know you're not. I know you well enough to know you're not.
The day that we finished it, or I finished it, and it was hot. It's 32 degrees in there. She came out and she said, because I didn't tell, she came out, she went, oh my God, we don't even need to go on holiday anymore. And I was like, mission accomplished. She said, what do you mean? I was like, you didn't, I would think I was doing this for me. I don't fucking want to go in there half the time. It's to stop you wanting to go into someone else's. We're all here now.
That's funny.
Fucking head in. I don't know about, do you like, I don't think you like on holiday, do you?
I don't. If I go, I like working holidays. Like if I'm going there for a reason, like going over to America with AGT with Ryland was amazing. It's like, right, okay, we can do some sightseeing, but we're there to fucking get Ryland on AGT, and stuff like that. I like it if I've got something. My ideal would be to take the wife and the kids away and do a lecture tour or work at the castle for a week. So I'm there, I'm doing magic, but I can spend some time with the kids and the wife as well. So I have to be very
that's like whenever if it's just me and Kaylee, a few times we've been to places and we've either gone out of our way to magic shows or someone has seen that we're there and I've reached out to come and hang out for a bit and do stuff. Then I'm okay because I have that itch scratched. But if I don't get my itch scratched, I'm a fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
I'm not mean. I just can't do anything. I don't function. She's like, what do you want to eat for tea? I don't know. I want to go and play with my cards. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
I have to be very careful around Sarah as well, because obviously we run the business together. She's around magic 24/7. And she realized she realized about 10 years ago that she'd basically lost Ryland to magic. So Ryland and me will sit around for hours, just like dicking around with magic, learning new magic tricks, filming each other, just having a laugh. It's amazing. And
Sarah
know
deserves
how
the Purple Cross for bravery, man, because I've seen how hard you both work.
Yeah.
It's insane. But at least, like, you love magic. She's a layperson.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Would you ever work this hard for
Nothing
somebody
else.
doing horse riding admin?
Would I fuck? No.
Equestrian admin? No, fuck it.
The problem is she's kind of resigned herself to the fact that she's a widow to magic when it comes to me and Ryland. But like she always had Thea, who would go off and do little girly.
Lost her now too.
And now, a year ago, she lost Thea. Now Thea's more obsessed about magic than Ryland. She's there. We're there down the bottom of my garden in my cave, and we're there just like working on new routines. And it's like, oh, right. Okay, Ryland's in the middle of learning fire breathing at the moment, which is like Thea's finding hilarious. And like, we're just down there blowing shit
Fucking
up.
hell.
And yeah, we're just down there blowing shit up and secretly doing stuff down there because we know that if Sarah knew that Ryland was learning fire breathing, I'd probably be divorced, while she's up there, just like, where's my family gone? They're down there doing. She's literally lost her entire family to card tricks.
I'm trying not to get Thomas into it. I'm slowly like leaning towards that direction. I am. I don't know. I mean, I love magic and I love the community and things, but I just feel like if he has my, and he kind of, I know he does, if he has my like hyper focus issues, he's going to spend a lot of his life indoors, just fucking tinkering, which I don't think is a bad thing, but he's also a really active, really, really fucking non-stop child, which might be a normal thing, but he's like, he's the one that the other parents use as the example, like, oh, calm down, you'll end up like Thomas. And it's like, fuck, if I bottled him up indoors because he fell in love with something like this, I just, I kind of want him to have a fucking life before you get into magic when you're 50. When you're 60, when you want to be indoors after you've broken every bone.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people get into magic really late in life.
Yeah.
It
takes a long time to get good taste,
It's very true. That's very, very true.
Acquired taste.
Well, from somebody who's raising two magical kids, I can tell you it's amazing that like the amount of magicians that will turn around to me who have got kids who have no interest in magic, and they'll say to me, "You're so lucky because your kids love magic and you get to share that with them." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am lucky, but at the same time, half of the reason I'm busy is following them around the country while they do a show, and I'm just fucking in the wings pressing remote controls. I'm there fucking stacking shells with fucking illusions while they're there just like, it's not, I mean, it's good. And they don't just love magic, it's other
They'll
stuff.
have the best, that's the thing. Like I don't gig. I could, but I'm not likely to give Thomas that lifestyle because the kids are learning from you, right? So they're fostering what you're
exactly. So they want to become performers because they see me and my love is performing. So they've always wanted to. Well, Ryland's always wanted, and I think Thea just like decided one day, fuck it, let's give it a go. I don't know, but I think your kids.
Yeah, he sees me. If you look at me through my studio from a distance, you can't even tell if I'm just fucking playing with my dick. Do you know what I mean? Compared to you on stage in front of 1,000 people, there's just me going, "Oh, fucking card tricks. Oh, Craig, watch the whole heel."
No, but I bet you show him really cool shit, and he's really he loves the fact that you're a creator.
I feel like my talents are wasted on him. I showed him. Have you my the TNR that I've got the paper cut one. So I performed that on him, and it's the thing that gets like standing ovations from magicians. I performed on him, and he was like, "Cool." He's like the little fat kid from David Blaine's special. He's like, "Cool," and then he's like, "Dad, watch this," and showed me like a ninja move, not like a Brad Christian ninja, like a little karate kick. He's like, "See how high I went?" I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is like my life's work on TNR." He didn't give a fuck.
Oh dear me. That's funny. Right, we should talk about something else. We've been. Oh, hang on. I need to stop that. Keep talking, Lloyd. Something just.
Right. My phone's gone off loads since we've been on here. So what have we done? What about sorry not sorry? I mean, I could keep going, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. We're not done.
Any other new products out mainly because the sorry not sorry that I kind of had in mind was a little bit towards some new products. Game changer. Congratulations.
Well, you know what? I did not expect that to go as well as it did, but it sold so many units. It's been probably one of my best-selling tricks with Penguin ever. And it's going
It's got a
great
massive
guns.
universal appeal to it.
Yeah, it's people just love it, and they love all the different things you can do with it. You can make an act out of it. It's been really popular. Yeah, and everyone sold out. Mia, you did had a load in. They've sold out. Magic Box have sold out. Monster Magic have sold out. Penguin have sold out. And it's not an easy one to make because Penguin actually make the gimmicks themselves in Columbus, Ohio. They've actually, I don't know if you know this, but Jamie Schoolcraft has actually taught the Penguin team how to make gimmick coins.
No.
Yeah. I don't know
Oh,
what the
I
deal
wish they
was.
could teach me. I wish they could teach me their ways.
Well, they've got like lathes and everything now. It's amazing. You walk into Seth Race's office and it's like it's incredible. It's like like the Q Labs in James Bond. Who's just got like loads of stuff everywhere. So they make their own gimmicks now, which is so cool. Like the when I was at Penguin last, I was like, I've got an idea, and what it would need is it would need a very specific shell making for a dollar-sized coin. I'd need this here, and I'd like to do that. And Seth was like, "Give me 5 minutes," and he went into his little thing, came back, and he'd made it. I'm like, "Wow."
No.
Yeah. So
Fuck
all of those
me.
game
I'm so
changers are
jealous.
made like in Columbus, Ohio, which is really nice. And it takes them a while to make them. So yeah, they're not going to be back in until the 5th of July. 5th of January, sorry. But they're up for pre-order. But did you say that you've got a sorry not sorry that's kind of got like
Yeah, but also, did you see? So this is kind of an interesting one because I just checked it, and please don't anyone libel me or anything. Did you see the Jerks post about Ted Karmalovich?
no?
So, oh my God, right. Don't flame me. If you're listening to this, don't get pissed off with me. Go to thejerks.com. I'm just repeating what I've read. There's a news article, like a cutout from a news article on there. Apparently, Ted Karmalovich fucks kids.
What?
Right?
Hang
Ted
on.
Karmalovich was prosecuted and found guilty fucking a kid when he was a teacher. Right? He's a nappy sniffer, apparently, diaper sniffer. Apparently. Well, I know. I think, fucking hell, I probably shouldn't have even started this, but it says the Ted Karmalovich was found guilty of fucking a youngblood. Right? The creator of the mother of all book tests. Are you seeing it there? I can see your face.
I'm just reading the article now. Yeah. I'm trying to remember who Ted Karmalovich is, but yeah,
He
he's
created
the
the mother of all
guy.
book tests.
The creator of the mother of all book tests. He's also had numerous effects and notes on the market, including Now is the Time, Vision in Black, Food for Thought, numerous awards, including the Psychic Entertainers Award for Creativity, contributions to the Art Award, also recent recipient of the Animan Award for contributions to the art of mentalism.
Right.
Besides
Okay,
being
so
a creator and a performer,
yeah,
he's been
it's
a
Ted
consultant.
Karmalovich. Let me
Fuck.
read the news article out to you. This was on August 28th, my birthday, 1992. So I was 4 years old. I wonder if I was his type. It says, teacher says he had sex with student. The 33-year-old Marlborough High School teacher pleads guilty to sexual assault. I said kid, I mean 15, but it's a fucking kid. A 33-year-old Marlborough High School English teacher admitted in Superior Court yesterday that he had sex with a 16-year-old female student with whom he said he'd formed a loving and caring relationship. With whom he had said he had formed a loving and caring relationship. But it goes on to say, blah, 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 that he and his student, who was 15 years old when their 7-month-long relationship began, came close when he started reading her journal and helping her with some problems he saw, according to the assistant Monmouth County prosecutor. So basically, he took a 15-year-old's journal, read it, performed the mother of all book tests on her, and then fucked her. In like motels, hotels, Holiday Inns. Yeah.
Oh my God. How did not people not know about this?
Master of abusing babies.
Holy shit.
To make it worse, I've just checked on the Magic Cafe and somebody had shared that in there, the news story on it, the information about it, because I think all magicians should. If that is him, if that is him, and it sounds like it's him, and other people have been talking about it, every magician deserves to know and has a right to know, so they don't support pedophiles. But for some reason, a moderator on the Magic Cafe has just removed all of those posts to bury it.
Really?
Which is fucking disgusting.
Well, that's the Magic Cafe for you.
It's fucked up. If they, unless I've read it and they're just about to post, hey, we've removed the post, but we are not gonna cover up the fact that he's a convicted pedophile, then fair. But I don't see any statement on there that says anything other than they've just hidden it. They've just hidden it. What the fuck? There could be somebody browsing the Magic Cafe now who could be a victim of a pedophile, or could have children who are victims of pedophiles, and they could have no idea that Ted Karmanovich was a pedophile, and they could blindly, at this moment in time, go, oh, that book sounds really good based off that review. I'm going to go support him. And they don't even, and the fact, yeah, completely fucked up. Completely fucked up. And I'm guessing it's because you're not allowed to mention the jerks on the Magic Cafe. But there are some instances where you have to, you've got to get over your fucking self. Just because you don't like the jerks doesn't mean...
Why would you not want to... Why did they not let you mention the jerks? Is that because the jerks in his old blog used to go against Steve Brooks?
Yeah, so if anything to do with the jerks is completely hidden on there, even if he is drawing attention to somebody being a pedophile. What in the fuck world do we live in? In the fuck world do we live in?
Ridiculous.
What fucking world do we live in? Hey guys, don't mention him being a pedophile. We're just here to talk about the tricks. Okay, guys, we don't want to... Let's keep it clean, folks.
I did not see that.
Separate the man from the artist, okay, guys? Fuck off.
You can't separate the man from the artist. You just can't. I'm a huge wrestling fan, right? I'm here. I
thought you were a pedophile.
No. No. I haven't got fucking time. I'm a huge wrestling fan, right? I've been getting into an argument recently online. I know, weird. Because there's this wrestler called Chris Benoit.
Yeah, didn't he unalive his family?
Yeah, so basically he murdered his wife and kids with the same move that he used in the wrestling matches to submit people, the cripple across face. He used them to kill his wife and kid. He went home from a wrestling match, went home, killed his wife and kid, and then hung himself. And there's people that are going online. There's actually a Facebook group, the Chris Benoit Appreciation Club or group or something like that. There's people online that will say, because the WWE completely blanked him from history. Like, okay, because he was considered an incredible wrestler, one of the best technicians in the world, but they've blanked him from history like he doesn't exist. And people are like, oh, you should still celebrate him. He should be in the Hall of Fame because of his accomplishments in wrestling. And it's like, no. At some point, then what you've actually done in real life, not in wrestling, has to be taken into consideration. And when you've gone there and you've, whatever the reason, whether it's blunt force trauma, whatever the reason.
Hitler was a painter.
Yeah. At some point, you kind of have to go, fucking
I'm
no.
not hanging up on the wall. Separate the man from the art. Fuck off.
No, not at all.
I could be, those posts may have been deleted as I'm looking at it, and there may be an explanation come in. But
yeah, because the Magic Cafe has a history of never deleting posts. The Magic Cafe have a history of making sure that everything stays on there for public record. The only fucking use of the Magic Cafe is so people can chat about the latest and greatest, or people can look in archives from 20 and 30 years, 10, 15 years ago and see what magicians were talking about and what tricks were great back then. To start deleting posts left, right, and center about something as important as this.
Yeah,
it devalues the Magic Cafe.
I'm not shitting on the Magic Cafe. I don't go around shitting on the Magic Cafe. However, and I understand, right? I understand magic is escapism for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people get into magic to not talk about politics, not talk about education, not talk about religion. They not get into it because of that, but magic is their escape from all those fucking heavy issues. I do think there's a line crossed though when somebody, from what it seems, and I think the Jerks is at times he's been wrong in the past and he's gotten some information incorrect, but I don't think he's going to put an accusation out as heinous as that, or even share the news article. I don't know if he's accusing him, he's sharing the news article without having all his ducks in a row, because that could be pretty damaging to somebody's life. So I think there's a line that gets crossed when it's like, look, this isn't just about like debating on who your favorite politician is or anything. This is letting people know, and people have posted. It's not, like it's no thanks, sorry.
Let's quickly give a shout out to the Jerks. I actually like reading his stuff. I don't always agree with everything he says, but I am a fan. I think that a lot of the material that he has shared over the years is just incredible. I think that he's got a smart brain, but he's the one person that does call out this sort of shit all of the time. He's got that grope, hasn't he? The glom.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is.
It calls out pedophiles in Magic.
He does. Everyone's a member. If you're in Magic, you're a member of the Glom, and you get kicked out if you're a paedophile. And hasn't he got a list of
probably access it through the website?
Yeah, you can. What is the Glom? There you go. Click it. It's right there on the side at the top. What is the Glom? Here you go.
Where's that?
What is the Glom? There. It's on the right-hand side, part way down.
What is the Glom?
And he put a post on 2016 about what it is.
Oh, I see.
Oh, it's got its own website as well. It's set its own website, theglom.com. There you go. The Glom,
is it double M?
The Glom, double M. The GLOMM.com.
Why isn't that link nice and big on there as well?
Global League of Magicians and Mentalists. The Global League of Magicians and Mentalists is the largest magic organization in the world. Anyone with an interest in magic is automatically granted membership as long as they adhere to a code of ethics. We seek to bring everyone together that loves the art. Our members include the most famous magicians in the world. The code of ethics is very simple. Don't be convicted of a sex crime. If you've been convicted of a sex crime, you're out of the Glom. We're not talking about consensual relationships between an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old or getting caught peeing on the street. But those sex crimes which take advantage of innocent and or damage other human physically or mentally. Shockingly, this doesn't seem to be in the code of ethics of other magic organizations. They're more concerned if a magic trick is taught on the back of a cereal box. Here at Glom, we have our priorities in order. Of course, it's impossible for our organization to know all potential sex criminals. If you're looking for a magician, you'll need to do your own due diligence. And then it's got a list of the band members and every single person.
I'm trying to find Ted Karmalovic on here, and he's not on there.
Well, maybe he hasn't updated it since that article.
Or if he's not alive, he can't be banned.
Is Ted Karmalovic still alive or not?
I don't know. What the Jerk says in his post is, will this chapter of his life be covered in the upcoming book on Ted Karmalovic? And then he's put the news article. It's a screenshot of the news article. It says the part where he slept with his 15-year-old student after reading her journal and convincing her he could help with the issues she was dealing with. I believe that's known as the somebody's daughter of all book tests.
Wow. I don't know.
Is it the Ted Karmalovic? It's got to be right. Why the fuck would he post that?
It's got to be right.
I'm going to search Google. Ted Karmalovic nonce.
That is literally what you're searching.
Yeah. No, because they wouldn't use the word nonce in America. Would they? I don't know. I don't think so.
Might do. They don't even say pedophile. They say pedophile.
Right. But Ted Karmalovic, the word sex, because in capital letters. Yeah, it's from newspapers, 1992.
Is it the same guy? Is it the same guy?
I don't know. I feel like I'm a fool, but let me say, I have throughout this entire podcast said over and over, allegedly, and I'm just repeating what is on the Jerks' website.
Yeah.
And there's a news article. Was he
the Jerks,
a teacher?
The Jerks wouldn't post about something like that. He's very good at doing his research.
I wonder where Ted Karmalovic is from. And was he a teacher? Can you hear the panic in my voice? Imagine I'm just like completely wrongly accused. Well, no, I'm just repeating what I've said. I'm just repeating what I've read.
Somewhere there's Ted Karmolovich is still alive going, what the fuck?
Oh my God, can you imagine? Wait, he died at the age of 63 in 1992. Theodore Karmolovich. Is there like a genie? Is there a genie thing about him? If he was 63 in 2022, and in 1992, he was 33. So what's that? Oh God, I can't do those type of maths, Craig.
Me neither.
Put it into mnemonic for me. So 1992 was 30 years exactly after 1992. And he was 63 when he died. And in this news article, he was 33. So that's 30. That's a 30-year difference. And where was he from?
I don't know. Are you trying to desperately figure out if it's the same guy or not?
Well, look, I'm just gonna pin it on the jerks if I'm incorrect. Unfair.
Can I just point out that if he did die in 1992, yeah.
No, he died. He got convicted in 1992.
Okay, so when did he die?
In 2022.
Oh, 2022. Okay, because I was about to say I found a Penguin Live that he's done.
But oh shit, the Daniel Garcia deck's been released live on air.
Live on air. Let's get away from pedophiles and talk about Daniel Garcia. There's a nice.
Okay, can you play the trailer and then play it loud? It's only 34 seconds.
Hang on. Do you want me to? Yeah, I could probably share it actually on the screen so we can all look at it at the same time. Hang on a minute. I can do that.
How can we go from talking about Ted Karmolovich to somebody who's an angel?
Okay, we've talked about pedophiles. Let's talk about Daniel Garcia. 1 minute. Hang on. I'm
watching the video. So I'm not
live.
G-Mark deck is here.
I'm gonna.
Amazing.
Hang on. 1 minute.
Oh my God! It's the smallest. It's the shortest trailer ever. But I'm sorry.
Hang on.
Where's the photo of the deck? I need a photo of the deck.
Hang on. I'm playing the trailer right now. Right now. Are you ready?
Yeah. Play.
Boom. Does that come up on your screen?
I'm watching it on my own screen.
Can you just tell me at least if this has come up on the screen you were looking at? Fuck it. I'm going to assume it has. Here we go.
Oh, the DG Mark deck is here. Boom. Amazing. Don't call it the amazing deck. It's just amazing. It's a maze deck. They came out super great. Double press, so they're thin, they're soft, they're buttery, they farrow well, they spread well, and the marks are jumbo size, so you can see them really easy from a mile away. At least 3 feet. Check them out. The maze deck.
Well, there's the trailer. Didn't really tell us much.
No. Let's see what it looks like, man.
Okay, let me read out what it says. Every card features Daniel Garcia's maze design, a bold geometric pattern that isn't just visually stunning, but also hides the cleverest marking system built right into the back. No decoding or mental gymnastics. Once you understand the marking system, you'll instantly know the card's name and suit without having to take a second look, while still being completely invisible to those who don't know the system, even under close inspection. The marking system was designed to be seen clearly, even from across the table. You don't need to hold the cards or squint to read the markings. The deck's been printed by the United States Playing Card Company on their premium crush stock, and they handled beautifully. This is not just another deck of cards. It's Garcia's maze deck, one you'll want to get lost in again and again.
Yippee! I've gone to his website and I found it. I can link you, and you can put it, and you can like share the screen.
Okay, we'll do. Link me, Lloyd. Link me.
Link away. LinkedIn.
Right, let's share.
Put it on screen. Put it on screen.
I'm going to put it on screen now. Yeah. So, everybody, this is the maze deck. It's what we've been raving about through the podcast.
Chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the bit. Here we go. Boom. Can you see that, Lloyd?
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
So the DG Maze deck.
Look at that box. I'm gonna fucking eat it.
Okay, look, that is the card right there. You zoom
I want
in.
to see if I can read the mark. Or is it? There's not gonna be a mark on the box. I'm an idiot.
There's probably not, but let's see if we can find somewhere where there is a mark.
Go down, go down, go down. There's photos down there. Go down, scroll
Okay.
down.
Then we get to the Daniel Garcia projects at the bottom. The maze design. So it's designed to look like a maze, and obviously the playing card value is built into that, which is very clever. Okay, can I zoom in on this? Yeah, I see
like
it there.
I like the colors that he's used because it's like you could almost like not that you would
is that a two of clubs there, Lloyd?
Yeah, I think so. Unless
Maybe.
it's a blank card, but that's definitely a club symbol. I don't even know how to read it, but it's definitely a club, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks like a club to me. Yeah,
Two
because look,
clubs.
it's the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, but of course it's going to be.
Yeah.
Or Queen of Spades. Or a Queen of Spades. Maybe it's in. Oh, wait. Because you look at the top right corner.
Yeah.
See this S
Oh,
there?
there's a Q and there's an S. Yeah.
With a Q and an S.
It's a very clever marking system, very clever
Yeah.
design, because obviously it's going to really help having really big marks. That's
I'm trying to go like blurry eye. That's definitely a two of clubs for sure.
got to be, isn't it? Looks like a two to me.
How much? 16. Ooh.
16 quid for a deck, 23 quid for
Does
two decks.
it come with like a tutorial and any tricks to do with it?
I have no idea. I don't think it'd do. No,
I don't think it do.
I don't think they do. No, I don't think they do.
Jackson George there.
But it's exciting. It's exciting.
How did that just pop up now?
What you got?
It's a Cyber Monday convention. Is that today?
No, I don't know if it is. I think it will be next Monday. I'm not 100% sure. I know they had to push it back because of the hackers that Andy successfully eliminated.
When is it? Cyber Monday, 8th of December. It's fucking today.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. Magic video download by Daniel Garcia, Tom Stone, Darren Brown, Bizarro, Chris Rollins, Kyle Littleton, Jim Krentz, Avi Yap, Henry Harris, Ryan Plunkett, and Nicola Arcan. Are they spelled their name wrong? Maybe.
Yeah, no, it's Arcane. Arkane, I think it is.
Ooh, oh man. Oh, I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
This is where Lloyd mentally checks out to this podcast so he can go and check out.
I was just going to say, yeah, sorry. I just went to a little like, right, okay, let's get to the sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Didn't we just do that? We spent 20 minutes talking about pedophiles.
That wasn't sorry, not sorry. I ain't sorry. I'm not sorry about that. Dude, if he's the diddler on the roof, like, I ain't sorry about that. Sounds like a fucking him problem.
Okay, what's your sorry, not sorry?
Although, there's no way they've actually removed that from the cafe, right?
See, that's what I meant about the sorry, not sorry. You going on at the Magic Cafe about removing posts, which is like...
If they've done that, that's their own fault.
Yeah.
It's not on them. Sorry, not sorry. Right.
You got
AI,
one.
in a sense. Not fully AI, right? But I think I seem to notice there has been an uptick in the amount of terrible fucking magic apps lately. I'm talking absolute dog shit brain fart magic apps. And it's making me lose my mind. Basically, my thinking has always been with magic apps that it should be the vehicle, not the destination, right? Like the app should never be the end point. That's a big core element. And I've always thought, or I've always tried to at least be somewhat clever with my methods. And often a lot of my methods with my magic app are in a sense analog and are a method that can work off offline as well, in a sense, right? So I've created Cypher, which was the first calculator app to do those calculations, taking the star signs and everything. I created Tempest, which forced time on a time clock, and then you'd use that to do like ACANs and shit. Then Cognito, right? And they use the binary system from the calendar cards, right? But again, it's a static thing, forcing times.
Brilliant.
Maybe do that in other options. And Maxim, which was an out for every card position in the deck that could be dynamically changed. Again, kind of based off like David Harkey work, again, static things. And I feel like, I have some other little small apps out there, but I feel like I worked very hard to come up with methods that weren't just the first thing that came to your mind. Everything kind of had a bit of, the methods were hidden and layered in a sense, right? And now I see apps out there. There's like 20 a fucking week coming out. It's like, oh, hey, you're going to reveal someone's date of birth. And what they do is they type their date of birth into a website and then you tell them what their date of birth is. It's like, fucking hell, man. Like, oh, somebody thinks of any food in the world and they search for that food on a menu and then you tell them what the food was that they were thinking of. And it drives me up a fucking wall. And I think the problem is that because AI can now build magic apps for you, that it gives everyone the ability to have the first idea they think of come to life in minutes without having to do any work or any thinking.
Yeah.
And it also allows a lot of creators to steal and rip off other people's apps. Because I see not a lot, but I see certain creators or magic app builders out there. They're like, this app is new, it's revolutionary, it's never been done before. And it fucking has. And it's been released before. And what they're bringing to the table is potentially using updated software or making the app more slightly better made in 2025. But it ain't fucking new or revolutionary.
No.
And I'm really passionate about magic apps. I wish I could code. I wish I'd learned to code instead of putting all my XP points into hyper focusing on fucking stupid card tricks, gimmicks and shit. But
I know you can't code, but what you're really good at is knowing how an app should work. I've seen you work on so many apps and you'll work with that developer and you'll be like, this is exactly what it needs to do. Do you know what I mean?
I know the ins and outs of apps. I thought I created Picasso Pro as well. But yeah.
And the Atomic Deck app.
Yeah. But either way, right? Fucking, my point is, the problem with AI now is that just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know? Yeah. And I understand that, like, the good thing about having, like, I was saying this last week about snooker tournaments, that, like, you've got to have people who are just shit to fill the roster, and they've got to be okay with being shit. Otherwise, the good people won't shine. You know, otherwise they would just be 5 people who are the top 5 in the world. That's it. It's fucking boring. But I also think it gets to the point where gets to a stage where there's so many fucking shit magic apps out there that it's hard to find the good ones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do completely agree with you. It part of the problem is, and I've spoken about this on my channel before, the problem extends beyond magic apps. What I mean by that is new people, when they come into magic, they see the industry and they immediately want to start creating magic. We put creators up on pedestals and people immediately want to start creating magic, and they immediately want to start creating routines and creating concepts, which is fine because there are naturally creative people. But the problem is, if you first come into magic, you don't have the experience to know all of the techniques and all of the utilities and everything that you need to know in order to, because it's kind of the way I look at it is, if you've got a tool bag, and as a creator, the more you learn, the more you have in your tool bag, so that when you're trying to come up with a trick and you have that end destination, you go in your tool bag and you go, well, I've got 7 different ways I can do this. What's the best way to do it? Whilst if you're new into magic, or you've only been doing it a year or two, even if you have the same idea because you're naturally a creative person, you've got less tools in your bag to work with. So it might not be the best way to achieve the final result. And also, you then don't know what's come out before. You don't have the experience to know that this thing that you're thinking of came out 20 years beforehand because you haven't read every single book and everything. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be creative, but I think Theory 11 started it with The Wire, where they made it like almost, anybody could come in and start creating and releasing their own magic. But the Penguin Partner Program does it as well. You can literally come into magic and within 6 months, you can position yourself as a creator. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think that you need to have time, and people will rush ideas before he passed away. God bless his soul.
I think it's good that everyone has equal opportunities to get on there. What I don't think is good is people who are stupid. I think it's stupid and lazy.
Yeah.
Like, I've always said this since I've talk about it on Blue in the Face. Whatever I try my best to, when I'm thinking, if I think about the effect that I want to achieve, and then I think about all the first ideas that come to my mind about how it could work, and then they get put on the pile of you can't use those ideas, right? Yeah. So I'm not an egotistical way. Talk about Cognito, for example. I wanted to know what card a person was thinking of, and I had a strict rule set, which was they never type it out loud. They never say it out loud. They only ever think the card out loud, and they don't tap it on screen, right? So I worked really hard to come up with, and I worked with my friend Owen Richards, or Owen Garfield, depending on the name. I worked really fucking hard to come up with some really obtuse and creative thinking, but I coupled that with what existed beforehand. So, for example, the binary principle, right, for the calendar card. So the concept, if you haven't seen Cognito, is there are 6 pictures of playing cards scattered on the floor. The participant looks through those pictures. If they don't see their card scattered on the floor, they hold the phone to their chest, or they just hold on to the phone, and you ask them information to test their observation skills, right? And the clever thing about that was, to obscure the method, was we used a timer input. So when they weren't even looking at their card, the timer would kick. If they were looking at an image that didn't even have their card on it, the app would use a timer. Then once it went over a certain amount of time, meaning they were on an image that didn't have their card, that would become a yes or a no, theoretically. So to the audience, they never even looked at their card to see it on screen. And it was using the combination of the old binary principle, some work from Martin Gardner and others that came before us. And then to make it even more deceptive, when you did it with like star signs instead of card, we were using the peakless peak thing, right? Yep. Which was based off Stephen Leithwaite's cake principle, where he would instruct people to put things in certain pockets depending on what they were thinking of. I used it with words. So it would say the first 2 letters of a star. Tomorrow you will be embraced in light on a Barnum statement, and that tomorrow would indicate they were a Taurus, right? All this was like long, hard hours of work, because I started off by writing a list of all the methods it couldn't be. So the first method, right? If I was saying to you, right, Craig, I want you to, you're going to think of a method. Give me 10 methods that could reveal what playing card a person is thinking of using a phone, right? What are the first 3 that come to your mind, right? So what are they?
The first 3 methods that reveal what a person's card is using.
You're going to build an app, and the app is designed to secretly transmit someone's playing card to you. What are the most obvious things that come to mind?
Having sort of a secret notification somehow.
No, like in terms of how they would pick the card or view the card or search for the card, how the spectator would come across that card.
Input it on some sort of
paper. So the first thing is they would search for what the card is, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So put that on the list. Second thing, maybe.
They would like the old illusionist rising cards, where they flick through a fake virtual deck.
So kind of like a Tinder thing. They'd go no. Yes on one card. So they physically select that card on screen then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe they would say that card out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be another option. And let's pick one more for good measure. Maybe
they text it to somebody, or they input it in. Like you see things where it's,
or they take a photo of it.
Page. They put it in the notes page for no reason. I see that happening.
So all those methods, they go on your list. and you can't fucking use them. Right? That's the rule. At least in my world, that's the rule. And then you see apps coming out, and it's like, oh, someone's going to think of a food. Okay, cool. And you get to magically reveal it. Okay, great. How do they think of the food? They type it in. Okay, take that app, put the app on your phone, pop it in your pocket, and just launch yourself off a cliff, you cunt. I'm sorry, but it's the fucking bottom of the barrel. It makes, and I'm not bigging myself up but it makes the people who are putting the work in to create the clever apps that obfuscate the method, that leave the spectator with no real way of knowing how it's done. It makes those people shine, but you're flooding the fucking.
I agree with you completely 100%. Playing devil's advocate just for a second, I know how you don't like it when there's apps that are like in your face, like it's obviously some sort of app. But as a professional performer, they can work really well in the real world. Some of them, like, so for example, Icons by the French Twins. One of my favorite things to do. It kills people in the real world. You wouldn't consider that probably a clever app because it's.
But I also don't put it in the same category as those apps that are pertaining to be revolutionary. A lot of them, it's the mentalism field. Yeah. They pertain to be revolutionary, or they pertain to be like, and your spectator will have no idea. And I understand that. When we first did Cypher, right, me and Will Jones, we put the star sign peak in there. And they would multiply their birth date at some point. And I was always of the mind of like, okay, it's a clever little thing, but it'll never work immediately after the routine. And it wasn't until Ryan Tricks really took it out onto the streets and started revealing the lottery tickets, and then be like, oh, by the way, you're a Sagittarius. And people were like, how the fuck did you know that I got faith in the method working? But even that is obfuscated because you're removing, it's one step removed, because they put in their numbers and you tell them something which is more spiritual, right? Because it's converted.
Yeah.
But I know that like I say all the time, Card to Phone is a fucking great app, but it's not pretending to be anything other than what it is.
Yeah.
The guy is not coming out saying, and the spectator will have no idea how that card came out on your phone screen. Like the Icons by the French Twins. They ain't going around telling everyone that this is going to fool the audience. This is designed to just be a fun fucking trick.
Yeah.
What I hate are these apps that are coming out and they're like, you're good. They're going to put in, you know what I mean? It's like, and the audience will have no idea. It's like, yes, they do. You stupid cunt. And you're making it worse for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just getting off my pedestal a bit now.
No, you're right. But I mean, the problem is, this is an industry-wide problem. I remember the very first for those people that don't know, me and Lloyd became friends during lockdown when I reached out to him and asked him to interview. I wanted to interview him for Magic TV. I just started doing Magic. Yeah, I just started doing Magic TV, and I've always loved Lloyd's material. Never really spoken to him, so I reached out and I said, "Can I do an interview?" And we spent probably eight hours just chatting, and never even did the interview, and then had to do the interview the next day. If you remember that, it's hilarious. The point I'm trying to make, I did have a point here. There was a point. Right from the very first time that we ever spoke, right from the very first time, I've always said that one of the problems in this industry is the amount of shit products that get rushed to market. I remember saying to you right on the very first time we met, you remember Dead Bob somewhere in fucking Murphy's headquarters. He's got an office somewhere. He's got quality control. He's got a big red buzzer on his desk. And unfortunately, Bob is dead. So all of the fucking tricks that come into Murphy's, no one realizes Bob's dead. He's dead somewhere. He's meant to be pressing this fucking button, getting rid of all this shit. And it's all coming out because of fucking dead Bob. And I've been saying that right from day one. And I've changed my attitude to a point because I've got to understand. I think a lot of people don't understand this industry, and I've understood this industry more over the last 5 years. And I understand that Murphy's is a wholesaler, and when they bring tricks in, there's not one person that can say we shouldn't be wholesaling that, because one man's trash is another man's treasure. I've looked at tricks that I've reviewed and I've said this is an absolute bag of shit and shouldn't be on the market. And then I've gone to gigs the next week and some motherfucker's there booked as a magician performing with it and getting great reactions. So there's no one person that can dictate what should and shouldn't go on the market. I get that. I've changed. I've grown. However, it's still the same problem. These apps that you're talking about that are inherently fucking shit, they are coming out because there is just so much shit that comes on the market. But playing devil's advocate, I agree these apps are shit, but there's some hobbyist somewhere that would buy an app where it's like type hot dog into your notes page and there's a reveal of a hot dog from a menu, whatever it is that the trick is that we're hypothetically talking about here, that will go, you know what? I really like that trick. I'm an Uber delivery driver and I love chatting to people to get tips when I give them their food. This fits me perfectly. I'm not a full-time pro. I want to do something really easy. Hey, thanks. This is your order. By the way, can you write the food item on here? Look at this. I'm going to tip you an extra 10 quid here. There's somebody that will find that trick. There's one man's trash is another man's treasure. And
I've been the biggest proponent of that.
Huh?
Remember all the years you've been talking shit about Kevin Parker's passing through, and I was like,
and now it's flipped because I'm trying to tell you, you have an invested interest in this because you are very passionate.
But I think there's a caveat. I think there's a caveat here, which is you are discussing tricks which you personally don't like.
Yeah.
Right. But I think you can make an argument for the tricks. Some of the tricks I can think of that you don't like that have come out and I've disagreed with, they've had work put into them. What I'm talking about specifically with these apps is that they didn't do any work. They thought of the very first idea, or they looked at somebody else's idea, but the core of it is they took the very first idea and ran with it. They didn't metaphorically spell check it.
Yeah.
They didn't look at it and go,
they put no effort in.
How could it even be one removed?
They put no effort in. They came up with the method, and literally that day it went to market.
Yeah.
You know, on last week's podcast, Lloyd, how long did it take you to come up with a market Acme portable hole? I can't remember what you said.
That came to me on about 30 minutes on a Monday, released it on a Wednesday.
Isn't that the same thing? Tricks. Isn't that the same thing?
I don't think so, because I really thought about the intricacies of what made it deceptive and what I believe were the things that would, I call it like a cherry on top or a bit of synergy, but it wasn't just about being like, oh, have a card with a hole, somehow replace the hole with a sticker at some point, ta-da. There had to be some extra to it, which was being able to show it front and back, being able to show it openly. And if you remember the specific method for Acme Hole, aside from there was no flap, because that's always the biggest giveaway, no flap on it, but there was also camouflage designed into it to take it further again. But that came from 20 years of creating, meaning that I can now create in 30 minutes. I can create in less time than that, but it's more about looking at the idea and going, right, for example, Acme Hole, if we applied my same issues with Acme Hole that I have with these apps, if somebody was to go, okay, I want to create a card trick where there's a hole in the card and the hole becomes a sticker, the very first method you would put on that list is flap card.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what is happening with the apps.
Yeah.
Because for me, the very first method on my list was flap card, and then it gets a big red cross put through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And that's the difference. It's about going, it's different when it's fun tricks, right? And not supposed to be magician, foolers, lay, brain melters, more, because that's more mentalism realm I'm on about with this fooling stuff, but specifically tricks where they're touted to be brilliant, fooling, creative, because it's not creative if it's the fucking first method you come up with, unless the presentation is wildly creative and what I'm ranting at. And the problem when you make a rant like this is that there's so many arguments can be drawn. There's so many examples that can be given to completely disprove me. And I'm aware of that. But I just wish when it came to apps, that people would write a list of all the methods that come to their mind in the first 5 minutes and then go, I'm not allowed to use them. Or if I am going to use one of these methods, how can I take it 1 or 2 steps removed? If I'm going to reveal a star sign, as an example, right? Well, the one that's removed is the birth date, right? So the numerical version of a star sign is a birth date. Well, it's a step removed. If they input the date, comes out as a star sign, right? It's the most basic example I can think of, but take it further. If you want to reveal someone's name, right? Don't have them type in their fucking name at any point. Think, how can you remove it once, twice, 3 times? I have my own ideas for it, but think about, well, okay, instead of what else can be a step removed from someone's name? This is a bad example, but can you think of a type of fruit or vegetable that has the same beginning letter as your name? Or is there a celebrity that has the same name as you? Do you know their date of birth? How many more fucking steps can you remove it? And then that becomes the input point. And then how can that filter down to the end result? And then how can you peak it in a way that isn't the peakless peaking from Cognito? How can you get creative to make it worth having a place on the shelf? To make it worth fucking occupying someone's mind in place of a better idea. And if people are out this holiday season looking to spend money on an app, you don't want to trick them into buying an app that's badly thought out.
Yeah.
For your own personal gain.
Yeah. Part of the problem is it's accessible, isn't it? Some people struggle with creating anything, with creativity. With an app, especially as AI will do all the work for you, it becomes a lot easier. You can literally just say, I want an app that will do this. Can you help me? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, but it's never going to be as good as what you've done or what Mark Kirstein's done, or the list goes on.
My apps, comparatively, my apps are not good. You look at Kirstein, king of apps. I've just worked hard to make my apps deceptive, or at least as far as I can take them. There are, again, it's like Eric Me. There are levels to this shit. You have the Kirsteins out there. But I'm only speaking from my own experience because I'm the most well versed in my creations. It's just, yeah. You look at some people out there and they want to be Mark Kirstein. They want to come up with the next Cognito, whatever. But fucking write a list. All the obvious methods. Fucking ban yourself or ban the app.
Yeah.
If you can't make a list, right, go to your friends and go, right, I'm going to create an app today. It's going to reveal what drink someone's going to order at a bar, what drink someone is thinking of, right? I want to use it for a think a drink routine. Okay, right. What do you think? Ask 10 friends, what do they think the way I'm going to go about it is? Okay, you're probably going to, maybe you're going to search it on the menu. All right, okay, write that down. The other friend says, maybe they look for just the brand only or something. Maybe they walk down a certain aisle. One aisle has whiskey, one aisle has vodka. Okay, well, like that. Right, there we go. Right, there's what my friends think the first methods are. The first one comes to head. I ain't going to use any of those. That's off the list now. Now it's time to get creative. And what I find is when you get creative, you end up in blue ocean territory.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Because then you come across a method that no one's worked with before. And it's why, with Cypher, the calculator app, it's why with Cognito, me and Owen were able to come up with all these really creative new methods for whittling down the binary, for the proximity input as an input, a time input. So using and inverting the choices, and then using the foundation of the cake principle for speaking, because nobody was working with binary in apps like we were, because we pushed really, really, really fucking hard to not use the obvious methods. And this is not me blowing smoke up my arse. It's a plea to people to stop fucking being lazy.
Unfortunately, it's harder to spend. It's harder to spend a long time on developing something with substance, whether it's an app or any creation in Magic. People will turn around to me and say, well, you release a lot of tricks. Well, I do, but how long the stuff that I work on is worked on. What you're seeing coming out this year has been started 3 or 4 years ago, and there's a process that you go through when you take this stuff seriously. But when you
are a magpie, you're a magpie, because a lot of people, these people who are releasing shit apps, they're not releasing them because they're really desperate to find. They have a part in their routine where they want to reveal a food someone's thinking of. They're not. They're doing it because they want to release an app.
Yep.
I was so hell bent on the apps that I've released is because I want to do, and I do those routines. The magic you release, people think that you are just releasing them for the sake of it. You are the busiest working magician that I know. Like, December is a no-go for you. I don't know how many gigs you're doing this month, but the reason you have so many releases is because you have the widest ranging set list I've ever fucking seen, and I've seen pretty much fucking all of them. I've never seen a magician be able, and I've said this to other people outside of this podcast behind your back, I've never seen someone do so many different tricks to so many different tables. So you're not releasing them for the sake of having a release. You're releasing them because you're actually fucking doing them.
Yep, that's the thing. And how many people that are releasing these apps that you're talking about are actually going out and performing them? That's the thing.
If they are, it's just to test it. They're not going. I've dreamt of revealing a thought of card where they never say it, type it, speak it, touch it, even fucking look at it. They're not. They're going, yeah, I could probably make a fucking £100 off that.
Yep. You're not wrong.
You know?
You're not wrong at all.
It is.
Yeah.
I do one day want to dive really deeply into, and I've asked you about this a lot of times, but like a real deep dive into how you're able to not just remember how many tricks you have at your fingertips, but like specifically what do you like the strategy you must have something inside there that like I've literally said to you, do you know this trick by XYZ? And you've gone, yeah, and then you've performed it beat for beat, like memorizing lyrics to a song and repeating it perfectly. But you have this bank, it must be 1,000 tricks.
Well, it was like that lecture I went to at Cardiff when you came along, and that lady said just in the interval,
oh my God. Your bag.
Yeah, so she showed me a trick, the Attack of the Bag from like 20 years ago, one of the old bags, and she was like, I've got this. I don't really know what to do with it. Can you show me? And I was like, oh, have you got it? And I just put it into the start of the second half. And
for reference, Craig was lecturing in Cardiff Magic Society. One of the spectators there said, Craig, I'm out of the blue in the middle of the interval. I have this old trick, and it is from 20 years ago. It's called Attack of the Bag. It's a bag that comes with 3 or 4 silver $half. Is it $half? Yeah.
Yeah. And
the bag is gimmicks, so it can like change and switch objects, right? Craig said, and she said, yeah, I don't know what to do with it. You said, oh, okay, I'll show you in the next half. And then you signed some autographs, sold some products, had a drink, sat down, did some routines, and then was like, oh yeah, pass me the bag. And I spoke about this on the podcast last year, I think. Did I speak about this on the podcast last year?
I don't know if you did. Maybe not.
I spoke about it somewhere. You then went into a 10, 15-minute routine, not teaching it, performing it, beat for beat for beat. 25 moments of magic in a fully structured routine. That must have been the actual full routine you taught on the project. Didn't flash once, which is rare for you. Didn't flash once, didn't miss a beat, and actually hit your applause cues at the right time. And there was even really, really difficult, complex, the last vanish one of the last vanishes where you pick it up and that timing and the angle has to be exact. You did that. And I just remember thinking, like, I didn't know if it was set up, because I've never seen a magician do that before. I've never seen a magician be handed a complex routine that they haven't done in 20 years, be given the props for it and say, hey, could you just talk me through this? And then just proceed to just perform it as if you've been performing it every day for the last year, nonstop, just to make sure you did it perfectly. And I just remember being like, I remember thinking, like, if there's anyone that doesn't believe in Craig Petty, this is that moment where you change your beliefs. Because I was just sort of like, as the routine was going on for longer and longer and longer, and you kept hitting it, and it wasn't like, I was expecting you to go, oh, fuck yeah, sorry, I haven't done this for 20 years. That's why I dropped this coin. Or, oh yeah, no, I don't remember what happened. There was something that happened to you. That didn't happen. You just did it. Start to finish, every beat, every slide, no flashing, on your applause cues, stood up, standing ovation, bowed head. And I was just like, either that's a complete setup or you are that guy. You are
No, it
Mike from
wasn't a setup at
Suits.
all.
It was fucking bizarre, and there has to be some. It's like Harry Lorraine, memorizing audiences' names, and the ability to be able. Because I can't remember full routines I was doing a year ago, for real.
I've never had a problem remembering routines that I learn, like, at all. Like, they just come to me. If somebody says do this, I can just do it. Not a problem. Absolutely fine.
I've seen you. If I didn't know you and I hadn't seen you do it over and over and over, and then do it like in the extreme cases of big routines, I wouldn't believe it. I really wouldn't believe it. I don't know how you. I honestly don't know how you do it. It's unbelievable. It's yeah. But if you could ever share that, I know everyone wants to learn the latest trick, the latest gimmick, the latest prop, the latest download, whatever. But that to me is the gold dust.
Well, I think one of the problems with magic is, as you learn more magic, there's only so much space in your brain, so you push stuff out. And people have said to me in the past, how do you memorize so many tricks? Because it's like, if I've got my 10 tricks that I love, that I perform all the time, but if I learn another 5 tricks, something's got to give. I end up not doing those for a while. What's going to happen? Am I going to be able to remember those? It is an important skill to be able to do, but I'm not really too sure how to teach it, because I've just kind of had that ability. It's like, I've just had that thing where I can just, like,
even if it's like a structure, like, do you think about in your head what the routine looked like, and then you can kind of fill in the blanks because you've got such a wide arsenal of sleights at your fingertips because you can do so much coin magic and card magic? Or is it, do you think of it from whenever you go through a routine, when you practice it, do you ever write down? I know you do a lot of writing, like you physically write on a piece of paper quite a lot. Like,
I
these are things that you probably take for granted.
I take notes on a lot of stuff, especially when I'm learning it and creating it, just because the physical process of writing something down really helps kind of get it into my head. Tapping things into a phone doesn't have that. So when I turn up to a shoot, it's a standing joke. I'll
Reams
have
of pieces of A4 paper.
reams of paper with, like, Sharpie written notes on them. That helps me kind of collect my thoughts, especially if I'm doing like a longer shoot.
My grandfather always taught me that if you ever want to memorize something, write it down.
Yeah.
And I forgot to write it down, because I should incorporate that more in my life. But yeah, look, I bet you took that for granted that you do that, but that is definitely got to be one of the keys to the, like, for example, actually thinking about it, I can recall a lot more of the routines off the shoots that we do. And I do think the paper that it comes on, because it's always massive, like childlike handwriting with like different color inks.
And that's the other thing I do. I use different ink for different routines. So, like when we were doing Focus, for example, you weren't there. It was me and Jake. But when we were doing Focus, that was 40 different routines. So I had like blue ink for the routines that were kind of more magic based, black ink for the ones that were more mentalism based. I had 5 or 6 different Sharpie markers. But somebody handed
all
me
of that is like all of that, like even like Tamara is like talks about stuff like that in Mnemonica. The principles of learning and memorizing. See, I bet you have a whole system that you just subconsciously do that would take people, because these routines that I cannot remember that I've created and done over and over and over again, and they evaporate. And with they don't go. But I do not write my routines down. Like a lot of times, the only way like I could sort of carbon date them is I teach them on video, and then I'm on to the next thing. I'll perform it. Well, like I'm when I said you're a magpie, you're like me in that you have a fascination and you're obsessed with it until the next one comes along. Yep. It could be in 10 minutes or it could be in 10 years. But I'm like you, like I'm obsessed with a trick, and then I move on to the next trick. Where you have some performers, I guess like an Eric Mead, for example, who will do maybe I'm just on about from like 14 years of doing the cylinder and coins and stuff. You know what I mean? Some magicians will just do the same stuff to perfection, whereas me and you have like a magpie type brain. It's like, oh, Andy, let's go.
Well, the other thing is I get bored. If I wasn't a professional performer, and I'm sure you were the same as well, if we weren't in this industry, we weren't paid to be in this industry, whether it's creating or performing or whatever the case may be, I'd still be the keenest amateur hobbyist magician in the world, because I love magic. And one of the things I love is learning new magic, because one, it's cool. I get really excited about it. But two, if I'm learning something, I'm adding to that toolbox that I told you about. You know, if I can learn something, and even if I don't do that trick, but I learn it and I have that thing, I can go, oh, right, okay, you know, that's amazing. That's something that I could use at some point down the line. I don't know when I'm going to be able to use that, but I'm going to be able to use that. Like I've just reviewed this thing with this black bag, and it's got a coin in it, and it's just a simple coin vanish. It's got black art on the other side. It's called Houdini's Coin Vanish, and I've just
Thanks
come
for
up
telling
with
me the
like,
method.
you're more than welcome. I've just come up with like a they're kind of open in the ad copy, but I've just come up with like a 5-phase walk around routine using that method. I've never really played with that method before, but I've just kind of incorporated it into something else. And I think that's, you know, that's important, you know, like constantly. If you want to be a creator, it comes back to being a creator. I really do believe if you want to be a creator, you need to be as well read as you possibly can. You need to be collecting ideas, collecting concepts, because the bigger your toolbox is, the more you know. Um, when you come to a problem, and as far as I'm concerned, all creating is a problem. Um, this is the problem. This is what I'm trying to achieve. In your case, I want to reveal a thought of card, but I don't want to write it down. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. What do I do? Well, the more, if you hadn't at one point, at some point in your life, read the binary system, that wouldn't have even been an option that you would have gone down. So, you know,
I kind of wanted to make a counter argument, which was I got creative by not knowing. I didn't have access, and that's how I think or feel, and possibly why I think differently in my head is because I didn't know. So I could only have, everything was blue ocean, my blue ocean territory. But then I would not have come up with the cognitos if I didn't know stuff like
exactly.
that.
You
I
can
think
be
there's
a
fine line
creator
though,
and you
isn't
can
it?
come up with your own ideas, but not probably. You're a better creator now than you were when you first started creating, because you still have that innate ability to create and come up with your own concepts and your own ideas and your own routines. But having that tool bank of stuff that you've seen over the last 20-25 years means that you have things like, okay, I can bring the binary system into this. I can use it in a completely different way. So you wouldn't even realize the binary system was being used, but that's my starting point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a really good point. I think it's such a tricky one because, you know, I think it depends on what you're creating, right? If it's card magic, I suppose you better be well read. It's going to be only beneficial to be well read. But if it's general magic, like imagine it's like, right, okay, you're going to turn those AirPods into sellotape. The best thing you can do is approach it from your own point of view and not have. If you found out someone had already done it, it would completely poison you with like you would, like, do you know when it's like they're saying don't think of an elephant, but all you can do is picture an elephant in your head. You say to a kid, don't open the box, and the kids will always open the box. I sometimes find that's the poison with creating, is if you try to work on something outside of coin and card, I suppose, like more like everyday organic magic, and you want to do something, but someone's gone there before you, and you're like if you think of bill changes, they're also formulaic. A lot of them are very formulaic because people can't everyone rubbernecks when it's the telegraph. You know what I mean? Like, it's sometimes you're poisoned by knowledge. So yeah, sometimes it's good to not have any outside influence, because then you approach it from your own point of view. But then with card magic and stuff, sometimes I suppose it's.
But even when you're doing like generic, so what, talking about elephants, my favorite trick of yours at the moment is the elephant trick. I absolutely love it, and the method behind that is completely nuts. And no, that's come from your brain, not from experiences at all. However, without giving anything away about this trick, there's that moment at the end, which is the added convincer before the trick happens.
If I didn't, that is definitely it.
And without that knowledge
concept
of that particular concept, you could still have created the elephant trick, but it wouldn't have had that lovely convincer just before the magic happened. So even in that case, your experience and your knowledge of other people's methods is enhancing what's coming inherently from nowhere, if that makes sense.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, you make a very good point. Creators, if you want to be better, learn everything. Consume. I also suppose as well then, because there's nothing worse than creating something and then getting to the point where you think, okay, I've been doing this for a couple of years or whatever, and other magicians have asked for it now, so maybe I'll bring this to the market. and then you bring it to the market and they go, oh yeah, that was old ground, man. Like you're the last man on the totem pole. It's happened to all of us. Literally happened to all of us. But if you're well read, you know what to avoid, or you know who to ask for permission. You know, why it should be brought out in a new version, for example. So yeah, it stops you from wasting a lot of time.
I agree with that completely. 100%. Wow.
Well, man, this has been a long one.
This has been an amazing one, but we didn't even get onto new products or anything like that. Like, it's just been a really, really good podcast. I know you've got to have them
fucking back, baby.
Fucking back and bigger than ever before. And next week we will have an announcement about potential dates. I think I'm going to send you.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that today.
No, we haven't even talked about that today. We'll talk about it next week because I've got hopefully this evening I'm going to have some dates to share with you, and then I can just like go and say yes, and we can start putting this thing together.
Hell yeah.
And what I'll probably do at some point over the next few days is I'll go over there and I'll FaceTime while I'm there, so you can see everything and you can see
where I'm thinking your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this is happening. Book them and they will come.
Absolutely.
Book them and they will come.
Absolutely. But haven't you got a meeting you've got to go to now?
Yeah.
I've been sitting in. I've just realised it's 5 o'clock. Everyone in my office has fucked off. They've all just gone and left me. I hope I've got my keys. Else I'm going to be stuck here all night. But fuck it, whatever.
Which is all you do anyway.
Exactly. All I do is work and gig.
One day we will get you that studio sorted in your place as well.
I want it. I want it.
Disgusting.
Come January, I'll make it happen.
No one's listening at this point. We can say what we want.
We'll tell them to fuck off. We'll do that thing that you do. But I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's podcast. If you are the guy that Lloyd was talking about, that the jerk says is a paedophile, and you're not, I apologise on behalf of Lloyd, but I think he's fairly 100% on the money here, right? Aren't you, Lloyd? It's 100%.
I will do some quick research after this and then ask you to cut that bit out if he is not a diddler.
Yes.
And if you listen to this and you're like, what? Who's a diddler? Forget I ever said anything.
Yeah. We're just going to go and check to make sure the nonce is the nonce that we're talking about. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next Wednesday with more crazy shit. But until
it was just nonsense.
Like what he did there. Join the Facebook group because that's where we're going to be hanging out. I'm going to be in there as of tonight, just chatting to people. And don't forget, I think we should bring back what we did last time with the podcast. If you've got a voice note, send it to me or Lloyd.
Yes.
If you've got a question, record it. Don't just fucking type it.
Email it.
Record it. Email it to Lloyd or me. Craig@magictv.org.
And if you want to email it to me, go to craig@magictv.org.
So in other words, send it to me, and then we'll play it. We'll play it on the actual. We'll play it on the actual podcast, and we'll answer your question live. I think that'd be really cool. But until then, Lloyd, wrap it up.
Or just ask it in the Facebook group.
Or in the Facebook group. But try to do a voice note. It's cooler if we can hear your question. Gareth Whitty, where are you? We're back. And
Tyler Lunsford, Pig Cake, where are you?
Absolutely. But until then, wrap it up, Lloyd. What you got to say?
Don't fuck kids and have a shit week.
Words to live by. We'll see you again next week on the Magic Podcast. I'm Craig. That's Lloyd. See you again.
We apologize for disrupting your normal daily schedule. You may now relax, tuck your deck back in, and resume your regular day-to-day life. Remember to subscribe to be notified the moment each new episode goes live every Wednesday. And join our Facebook group to continue the conversation. The link is in the description to this podcast. Thank you for listening to The Magic Podcast.